In this video, we're taking our drawn symbols and transferring them to clay. So if you haven't watched the video yet where we drew out the symbols and figured out which ones we're drawing, please watch that video first. This part of the process, you will need your drawing, and then you will need some canvas, clay, and a lot of clay. You'll also need your dowel, you'll need a rolling pin, and the tile cutter, and 4 of these paint sticks that are the thicker kind. They're each a 1/4 inch, so it'll make it a total of a 1/2 inch. And you're also going to need your card for compressing. So let me clear all this off and we'll get started with wedging the clay. It's really important that you choose enough clay and that you wedge it. So you're going to put down your canvas mat, and wedging is where you're compressing the clay to get any air bubbles out. And so I'm going to use 2 hands and I'm going to slowly push the clay down. It looks like I'm pushing away, but I'm really pushing it down. And so I'm trying to have my palms on the side and just pushing straight down. And this is called a ram's head wedge. You can see if I put little eyes there, and that's the nose and the ears, or the horns. But you don't have to put the eyes and stuff in. But once I do it a little bit, I turn it on its side, and again I do it again, and I'm pushing down. So I'm just doing a little bit more. Then I want to take my rolling pin and just flatten it kind of in the beginning, hold it by the big barrel and flatten it a couple of times. And turn it over and flatten it again. You're going to try to get this a 1/2 inch thick. And so 2 stir sticks on each side. So there's 1 on each side, and then I'm going to put 2 more on each side so that it's a 1/2 inch thick. This is really thick tile, but that's because we are going to be, there you can see there's 2 on each side, but we're going to be carving down into the tile. And then your rolling pin rolls on top of your clay until it gets down to the stir sticks. And so you always want your rolling pin to be on the stir sticks. And yeah, you're going to flip your slab as you roll it out, turn it over and turn it on its side, and because you want to stretch the clay both one way and then the other way. Okay, and so eventually you'll be rolling and just riding on those stir sticks, and once you do that, then you know that there's 1/2 inch. I'm just fixing a little bit of bubbles, air bubbles that I have in there, so I'm just popping the bubbles and pushing on them and rolling back over them. I'm just rolling over the other side. With this much clay, you might get a few air bubbles, and so that's how you fix them. Puncture them and you'll be all good. Okay, so I have it a 1/2 inch and I'm ready for my tile cutter. I have a few of these in the classroom, and you're just going to take it and press the tile cutter down firmly, and then you can go with your dowel or skewer around the outside and get a really nice cut around the edges. Your extra clay you want to put back in the bin right away so it doesn't dry out. So make sure you kind of put it into a ball and put that back. You're going to push your tile out and clean up the edges around the tile cutter and put it back for the next person to use. Okay, and then you want to use your card to compress and smooth the clay. Yes, it smooths it, but the most important thing is the compression. So clay kind of has like little tiny plates. It's made up of little tiny plates, and so this is kind of putting all those plates in little stacks, and that makes them a lot stronger. So I'm just smoothing it out and compressing down a little bit, and I'm also going around the edges and kind of keeping it square. I can also go around the edges with my finger And then I also want to smooth with my finger as well, just to do one more round of compressing. And then I'm ready to transfer my design. So I've made this design with water-soluble marker, and since my clay is just a tiny bit wet, it's going to transfer. So first I rub down with the palm of my hand, and then I kind of burnish down or scrape with my card, and just giving it a few minutes to soak into the clay. I can kind of slowly peel it back to see if it works. And once I know it worked, I can peel the whole thing back. You pretty much get one shot with that, so do your best, and then you're ready to carve. And I'll carve in the next video, so see you then. Bye guys.